Let's start with the upgrade procedure of this MacBook Pro. So right now I have 8 GB random access memory on my MacBook Pro and I'm upgrading it to 16 gigabytes, 2 slots of 8 GB each here. I'm also upgrading the hard drive of the MacBook Pro. Right now I have a normal HDD drive and I'm upgrading it to the SSD. So I have a 500 GB Samsung 870 EVO hard disk, and it is believed to be the best performing hard disk in the market nowadays. You need to have a screwdriver by the help of which you can open the screws at the back of the MacBook. You will also need a pen drive, a flash disk, a bootable flash disk with the Mac operating system, because when we install the hard drive in our MacBook Pro, it is going to be clean and there will not be any operating system on that hard disk. So you need to have a bootable disk for installing the macOS operating system on the newly installed SSD. Just turn around the MacBook Pro and by the help of the screwdriver, just open all the screws which we have around over here on all the edges. And now just lift the back cover up like this and it will straight come out of the laptop. This is where the random access memory chip is installed on the MacBook Pro, and you need to just push these 2 slots outside and the random access memory chips, they will just pop out of the MacBook Pro. So this is the stock 4 GB chip which I have in the MacBook Pro at present. So there are 2 of these chips. Just slide out carefully both chips out of the slot. So let's just take out the chips from the packaging. That is the single 8 GB module, and let's put it into the slot. So just slide it inside and push gently. You will hear a clicking noise confirming that the RAM module is secure. Now let's open the second RAM module. So that's the second chip with the 8 GB capacity. We have already installed the single chip over here. Now let's install the second chip also. And there goes the second module of 8 GB capacity. Just slide it inside and push down and you will hear a clicking noise confirming that the RAM modules are perfectly in place. So now we are done with the installation of the RAM module. The next thing we are going to do is to replace the hard drive. So right now I have a normal hard disk of 1 TB and I'm going to replace this with the SSD 500 GB from Samsung, that's 870 EVO. Let's open the package of the hard drive. So in the package we have some documentation. This is the SSD and it is so light, so small in size. So we'll just keep this aside and we have to take out the hard drive which is already there in the laptop so that we can make space for the SSD here. First thing we have to do is that we have to open the 4 screws here. There are 4 screws here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have to open these 4 screws to take out the hard drive from the socket. And then the socket which is holding the hard drive in the place will come out. And now we have to open the last 2 screws. Now we can just lift up the hard disk gently. Alright, and now before you lift the hard disk up, please be careful that there is a ribbon, the data cable which is connected with your hard disk. So gently unplug the data cable from the hard drive. Just apply equal amount of force on both the sides, and then the hard disk will be completely detached from the MacBook. Be very careful, because if you damage this cable, then your computer won't be able to read the data from the hard drive. There is one more step where you have to take out these assembly screws, which are right over here. We need these screws to put our SSD back into the same place, so you need a special type of screwdriver. And the screws, they look like this. So we have 4 of these screws on the hard drive. Okay, so we have taken out all the screws from the old hard drive, and now we have to put those screws on our SSD. The SSD is also having the slots for tightening in the screws at the same place. So all the 4 screws just goes like this. And now our SSD drive is ready to go into the MacBook. So to put it into the MacBook, just plug in the data cable, which we unplugged from the previous hard disk, and it will connect exactly at the same location on this SSD also. Just push in gently and secure the hard drive by the help of those screws. Alright, so now the SSD is securely in place, connected with the data cable, and we now need to put the screws back into the assembly. Alright, so we have the random access memory modules attached here, 16 gigabytes of memory, 8 GB module each. And then now we have the Samsung SSD also in the place, and now we can put back the cover. Okay, so we have the back cover on, everything is ready, and now it is time to switch on the power, and that's the moment of truth, whether our installation procedure has been successful or not. Let's switch on the computer for the first time after we have installed the SSD and the 16 GB random access memory. So let's press the power button. And your computer will start up, and you will see the startup screen, but you will not find any operating system loaded into the computer, because right now the SSD that we have installed is completely blank, it is empty. There is no Mac OS installed on the hard drive right now. So this is the time when you will be using the bootable USB that we have created before upgrading the MacBook. So long press the power button to shut down. Now plug in the USB drive into one of the USB ports. Press the power button, and immediately after pressing the power button, we have to hold the option key on the keyboard, which will give us the option to choose to boot from the USB disk. So as soon as I press the power button, I'm going to press on the option key. Now keep pressing the option key. And we have the option of booting the computer from the USB drive, which is now connected with the computer. So I'm going to press the enter key here, or you can also click on the arrow. Now at this point of time, the MacBook is actually transferring the bootable files from the USB into the computer's memory, and soon it will be ready for the Mac OS setup. So now the bootable disk operating system has been loaded, and the first thing we have to do is go into the disk utility, because we have to make our disk ready for the operating system installation. So on this screen, click on the disk utility and click on the continue button. The disk utility will show you the hard drives which are now connected with the laptop. So this is the bootable disk which I have connected over here, and this is the Samsung SSD which we have installed in our MacBook now. And as you can see, it is showing the status uninitialized, which means that the SSD is not yet ready to be used. So the first thing we have to do is to erase this hard disk. So we choose the Samsung SSD from the list here and click on the erase button. Just give a name for the partition. Just leave all other options as it is and click on the erase button. Once finished, it will show you that the erase process has been complete. The disk has been mounted, and now we can proceed with the installation procedure. Just quit the disk utility by clicking on the disk utility and quit option. From this screen, choose install macOS option and click on the continue button. Click on continue. Just click on agree. And now we have to choose the hard disk where we want to install the operating system. So this is the SSD where I want to install the OS. Select the OS and click on the install button. And now it is transferring the operating system files to our newly installed SSD drive. Just wait for this process to be finished. Installation of the Mac OS is complete now. Let's check the random access memory and the hard drives page now. So click on about this Mac. And as you can see here, I have Mac OS 10.14.6 installed on my MacBook. I have 16 gigabytes of random access memory. Earlier I was having only 8 gigabytes of memory in this computer. Let's go to the storage tab, and this is the hard disk, the 500 GB SSD that we have just connected with our computer. So everything is working perfectly, and the speed of the computer has got a big boost. The booting time has been reduced drastically, and all the applications are also running very smooth. So guys, if you like my video, please click on the like button, and also please subscribe to my channel to get more technical videos in the future. Thank you everyone for watching.